Okay, gang, here we go. Week 6. We're getting through this class pretty quickly. Summer classes always seem to fly by. So let's go ahead and dive in. We're talking about the evolution of a message today. So how message really depends on the media that you present it in, and there's debate. Does the content of the message change depending on how you deliver the message? All this good stuff. So we're going to look at this today and this week. So we have our lecture. You have no reading this week because guess what? You've read the entire book. I told you at the beginning you would read that whole book. You'd get your money's worth. And you have. So we're through the book at this point. We have our artist of the week, which is Makoto Fujimura. And you do have a Q&A with Fujimura. Fujimura is a contemporary Christian artist, does very abstract, non-representational work, very beautiful work. We're going to have a reflection on an artist from China named Ai Weiwei, and that's going to be a discussion board. You also have a collage project due this week, and you have your quiz. So last week it was quite a heavy writing week. This week not so much material for you to go through. I know there was a lot of films for you to view, so a little bit lighter this week. I know week 5 is a heavy one, kind of that halfway turning point of the course. And of course, as usual, I will be grading that work and have it all completed by Friday at the latest, hopefully sooner than that this week. But getting through those film reviews might take me a little bit longer than getting through, like reflections, that kind of stuff. Okay, remember everything is due by Sunday at midnight. So here is your lecture. Make sure you download the lecture slides. You've got the video to go along with it. So make sure you watch any links in there. As you've probably learned, sometimes quiz questions will come out of those videos. So you can always use, open note, open book, all the open lecture, all that stuff in your quizzes. Your quizzes are really designed to, to make sure that you're going through all the lecture material. So shorter list of vocabulary. This for the jump in the video right there. I had to fix something in this assignment. So the artist of the week is Makoto Fujimura again, and you're going to explore his website. So if you go ahead and just click on his name, it'll pull up his website. Make sure you do watch this clip called Golden Sea. Go ahead and look through his works. He's got all these beautiful different series. There's another one we're going to watch a clip about called the Four Gospels. Excuse me. So he did, them on Matthew, the book of Matthew, the book of Mark, the book of Luke, and the book of John. And then he did one called the Tears of Christ as well. And click on writings of his. There is a section, How to See My Paintings, which he might explain for those of you who are a little bit aren't into contemporary art, aren't into those abstract paintings, you might find this little section interesting about, how to look at the work of a contemporary Christian artist who's doing work that's purely abstract. So there's nothing representational. He's got such beautiful work, and he's such a neat person. Started a ministry called International Arts Movement. Just really cool guy all around. And so then I want you to answer the following question. How does Fujimura cross cultural boundaries? Number 2, how does Fujimura disrupt traditional Christian art forms in order to spread the gospel? And number 3, describe your reaction to his art. So again, this is just that Q&A section. This is all based on how you feel, how you think about it. There's not really any right or wrong answers. You should get full credit as long as these are turned in on time and you're actually answering the questions. I prefer that you list them 1, 2, 3 so that I know which question I'm, reading a response to. Excuse me. And you can just do that right in the text editor. No need to do an attachment. I did want to note a couple of you sometimes put your work in the comment section on accident. So don't put it here and add comment. Hit write submission. And this is where you want to submit your work. So again, not in the add comments, because that puts it in this weird kind of side column when you submit your assignment. It doesn't put it kind of as the big, body of text of your work. Okay, so our next item that we're going to be looking at is our reflection. This is a discussion board this week, and it's about another Asian artist, and his name is Ai Weiwei. He's from China. And you're going to be watching this clip. I believe it's not terribly long, about 24 minutes or so. But it's an interview with this artist. And so he's a really controversial guy in China. He's been imprisoned for kind of speaking out. He's very much involved in using new media, especially because a country like China is very kind of closed and very controlling. And so he's about personal freedom, uh, but also about tradition. So he does some very, very interesting work. We actually looked at his sunflower seeds that first week. Remember in that lecture, all the porcelain sunflower seeds? So same guy. So we're just diving into him a little bit deeper this week. And then I want you to answer the following questions in paragraph form, please. What makes Ai Weiwei's work so controversial? How does Ai Weiwei use new media as an effective means of communication in his art? How do you feel about Ai Weiwei's incarceration? And comment on a minimum of 2 peers' posts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? So remember, to get full credit on these discussion boards, you have to be interacting. They have to actually be a discussion. So yes, I really agree with what you said. I hadn't thought about that, or I don't really agree with you on this. Discuss. That this is how we get more ideas out, how we see things from a new perspective. So enjoy that. He's a really interesting guy. Okay, we also have a collage assignment this week. I don't know why it changed the way. Oop, we don't want to begin the quiz yet. Hang on, Blackboard's being a little goofy for me right now. Okay, let's go back to week 6. Here we go. Okay, so you're going to be doing a collage project since we're dealing with the media and kind of the evolution of a message. So I want you to imagine you are creating an image for someone who has never set foot on planet Earth before. How could you communicate a sense of what it's like to be alive here in the 21st century? So I want you to create a collage by combining seemingly disjointed images into one composition that describes 21st century visual culture. You should include images from as many aspects of new media as possible. So consider film, photography, graphic design, fashion, music, memes, social media, advertising, the news, etc. Your collage can be done digitally or it can be done by hand. So you can be using magazine cutouts, newspaper cutouts. I kind of encourage that. Get away from the computer screen for a while. Use your hands. It's very therapeutic. It can be three-dimensional or a combination of these. So be creative. Can you incorporate different textures and different materials into this? So you must include a minimum of 25 images in your collage. That's a minimum, because sometimes students turn in these assignments to me and they give me this sheet of paper, of course, that you've scanned the image, and there's like five cutouts on it, and they're all spread out, and it's just not very compelling to look at. So this is, it's about really using as many images as you can to combine to give an overall picture of what 21st century visual culture is like. So to submit, you're going to scan or photograph your collage and upload as an image attachment. The file should be titled with your last name and the assignment title. So example, Boss Collage, or if it's a JPEG or a PDF, etc. And I've given you some artists to be inspired by. So if you go ahead and click on these, it's going to take you just to some Google searches. So you can see Hannah Hawk, who is my personal favorite photo collage artist. She was one of the Dada artists. Really innovative stuff. So you can see the kind of work that she's doing. She's always manipulating. She's always making something brand new out of different images. She often deals with the human body. She really deals with the way women were represented in the media back in the 1910s, 1920s, 1930s. So that's nothing new, that we're kind of, hey, what's going on with the way women are represented. A lot of her work's very politically charged. So you'll find some things that are, not her work. This clearly is not her work. But you can see just how cool her stuff is. So I've given you Hannah Hawk as an example. I've also given you Bruce Conner. Bruce Conner does some really cool stuff here as well. Deals with a lot of photography in there. Again, really interesting disparate images. So disparate meaning things that don't normally belong together, right? But you're putting them together into a cohesive scene. So go ahead and browse through these. His are kind of strange and a little bit creepy sometimes. Really cool stuff. I've also given you Tom Vesselman. Tom Vesselman was a pop artist. And he does these collages of kind of, popular culture. A lot has to do with around, the middle class home. And he does, work with a lot of kitchen scenes, a lot of food, a lot of product placement, kind of glorifying this consumer culture that we built up. So look at his work for inspiration as well, very colorful. And I'm giving you David Hockney's work as well. His photo montages are really cool, really interesting. He takes usually a lot of images of the same exact scene and then kind of puts them together in this new, interesting way. This is one of my personal favorites of this old woman. It's very cubist looking, I think. So just there's a couple artists there to give you some inspiration, of what kind of style you might want to emulate. But have fun with this. You have a lot of creative freedom here. So again, just make sure you're using a minimum of 25 images. So when you go to submit this, what to do is when the assignment information comes up, you don't have to use the right submission. You're just going to do attach file, browse my computer, and then you can attach your image of your collage and it will pop up for me. It should pop up perfectly. Sometimes it helps if you export your images to PDFs. They tend to be smaller, more condensed files. If you have this gigantic JPEG file, sometimes they're a little bit harder, or just you have to be patient. They take a little bit longer to upload. If you're having trouble uploading your images, please don't hesitate to let me know. And then, of course, you've got your quiz this week as well, as usual. Oh, it always wants to pop up when I cancel that for some reason. So again, due no later than Sunday at midnight. So again, if we look back to our agenda, we've got our lecture, we have our artist of the week, so you do have a Q&A, so that is an assignment due. You have your discussion board, you have your collage, and your quiz, and that's what we got going on. I love this week, cool material. Have fun with it, and let me know if you have any questions.